Welcome to page 11 of your Transformations packet. We're going to be looking at describing transformations that have occurred. Let's take a look at the images in problem number 1. We see that there are two diamond-shaped figures on the coordinate plane. In order to tell the difference between the original figure and the transformed figure, we take a look at the points. You can see in this very first image here, we have the original points, A, B, C, D. If you look at the second image, it's B prime, C prime, D prime, etc. We can see that these points have been transformed. Now, let's take a look at what actually occurred. We know that the x-coordinate controls side-to-side movement, and the y-coordinate, which is second, controls up or down movement on the coordinate plane. Well, let's take a look at how these points have changed. We can see that image 1 and image 2 are facing the same direction. There hasn't been a turn, there hasn't been a flip. And the two images are the same size, so there hasn't been a dilation. What type of transformation is it? It is a translation, or the slide. Place your pencil point on point B on the original image. Now let's move sideways first. The x-coordinate controls our sideways movement, so let's go sideways first, and the x comes first in an ordered pair. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units to the left, or a loss of 5, or a negative 5. 5 units have been taken away. So we would write that and represent it as x minus 5. 5 to the left. Now, place your pencil point at the tip of the arrow and move down. 1, 2, 3, 4. A loss of 4, or moving down 4, is a negative 4. Or we can write it y minus 4. And that's moving downward 4 units. It's your job, once you've done all the work and taken down notes, to describe the transformation. Make sure you include important details like x minus 5, y minus 4 when it comes to the x and the y coordinate, and the fact that you're moving to the left and you're moving downward. Pause the video and write a response. And then let's move on. Your response should look something like this. Image ABCD has been translated 5 units to the left and down 4 units. Subtract 5 from the x-coordinate and 4 from the y-coordinate to get the translation T prime, x minus 5, comma, y minus 4. Make sure you include important details like naming the image, listing what type of transformation it is, how many units and the different directions that you move, and how you arrived at your answer. You subtracted 5 units from the x-coordinate and 4 from the y-coordinate. And it's important to include details like this mathematical notation. Let's move on to number 2. In number 2, we are asked to describe the following transformation. Let's take a look at what we've been given. First of all, we can tell that the image in quadrant 1 is the original image. If we look at the points here, we can see that that is point A, whereas in image number 2, it's A prime. That shows us that that image has been transformed when we see those prime markers. So, that's important. This is our original image. Next, we notice that image 1 and image 2 are congruent. So we can eliminate a dilation. A dilation would change the image in size. And you can see from the diagram that these two images are exactly the same size. So forget about a dilation. Next, we notice that image 2 is not facing the same direction as image 1. So it's certainly not a slide or a translation, which leaves us with a reflection or a rotation. And clearly, if you look at how the image has been transformed, it has been flipped over the x-axis. So this is truly a reflection. In a reflection, when you flip over the x-axis, what happens is there is movement from the top of the coordinate plane to the bottom of the coordinate plane. And of course, moving up and down on the coordinate plane is controlled by the y-coordinate. So this is what's happening. Our original image, all the x's and y's in our original image change to this. Basically, all the y's flip to their opposite as we reflect over the x-axis. When you write, you're certainly going to want to describe that all the y-coordinates change to their opposite when they're flipped over the x-axis. Take a moment and write a description of what's occurred. Turn the video back on when you're ready to compare your written response to the answer key. Okay, let's compare our answers. You should have gotten something like this. Image ABC has been reflected over the x-axis. A reflection over the x-axis changes the y-coordinates to their opposites to get the reflection of x and y gives us r prime, where x stays the same and y changes to its opposite. Complete problem number 3 on your own. This completes page 11 in your reflection packet.